Hi, this is Dr. Simeon Roger, and welcome back to our free meditation series. Today we're going to talk about mindfulness. And of course, as we've said, many people get into meditation because they're looking for this elusive quality of mindfulness, whatever that is and however they define it. The truth is, your practice is already making you more mindful. You may have noticed this. So, meditation may be your first taste of this because, after all, in our society, mindfulness is simply not a priority. In fact, everything that our educational system does, everything that our culture does, teaches you not to be mindful. So, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness essentially is being in the present moment, fully in the present moment. And it is very seldom that the average person is actually in the present moment. If you analyze your life very closely, what you'll realize is more often than not, even if you're doing completely mundane things around the house, like going to get some orange juice out of the fridge, you are not present. You are always aiming at some future result, and you're never in the present moment. You're always focused here, and you're never here in the present moment. And our entire society is like that. We are constantly postponing our own happiness for a future that never comes. How stupid is that? And we do it all the time. We do it in our working lives. We do it in the most mundane, small things. In everything we do, this is what we are doing. Working for a happiness that never comes. And it leads to this contaminated happiness that we talked about, of being dependent on external circumstances. And it leads to always categorizing life as what I like, what I don't, what's pleasant, what's not pleasant. And it keeps us in a constant state of emotional disruption. It is a very slippery slope. And it leads to endless dissatisfaction. So you may have found that, endless thoughts and emotions do interrupt your meditation. It may be hard to focus in meditation. Part of the reason for that actually is that you're not present during your activities of daily life. If you were, you would slide into meditation effortlessly. So it's a symptom. It's not the problem itself, it's a symptom. Mindfulness depends on being undistracted by the mind stream. So the emotionalized mind stream of the rational mind that is constantly playing, we have to understand that we really can't stop that. But we actually don't need to. All we need to do is detach from it. And it's at that point that mindfulness begins, when there's a bit of detachment from the mind stream. And once that happens, what we need to do is take that presentness, if you will, that mindfulness that's developed in meditation, and transfer it into moment-to-moment daily life. Now that's a more advanced stage, and it's something we'll talk about because there are specific ways to do that that are actually easy and fun to use. So once mindfulness becomes rooted in you, and once you are really in the present moment on a continuous basis, that's when life really changes. And the present moment is always seen as something incredibly rich, incredibly lovely. We stop distinguishing between pleasant and unpleasant. What's pleasant and unpleasant we come to regard as with bemused detachment of whichever it is. As one Tibetan Lama said, to the mind that is properly placed, old age, sickness, and death are just as interesting as youth, joy, and love. So we come to see all of reality in its richness. And we see that every situation in life becomes workable. And at that point, we can begin to relax. We begin to surrender. The ego grip, which is based on fear, naturally lessens. And we can transfer that self-cherishing mind to begin to cherish others. And we feel more and more happiness as we go along, because this is no longer contaminated happiness. So mindfulness is growing, and keep in mind that your mindfulness is already growing with the practice you've been doing. So that shamatha type of meditation, where you are just focusing on your breath, however you're sitting, however you're doing it, is actually helping you get there. You're learning mindfulness. You're detaching from the mind stream. But it does take time. And it comes in, your progress will not be an even path. It never is for anybody. There will always be good days and bad days, but increasingly you will see even that doesn't matter. So continue with your practice and you will become more mindful. And in a later part of this series, we'll talk about exactly how to transfer that mindfulness to real life. Once you get up off your meditation cushion or your meditation chair, how do you stay mindful? We'll get into that. I'm Dr. Simeon Roger. We'll be back soon.